Story short, again, I represent the plaintiff in this case. We served our initial written discovery back in April of this year, gave prior counsel for the defendants, who are all represented by the same counsel, extensions through June to respond and produce documents. Didn't get any responses, not even objections. No documents have been produced yet. So we had the move to compel, set that for hearing, and I believe in August, if I'm not mistaken, Your Honor, on the day of that hearing, defendants' prior counsel agreed to an order granting that motion, where they agreed and were ordered to provide documents and responses and then also pay our fees. Haven't gotten any of that yet. We're sitting here in November. So the only thing I knew to do at that point, Your Honor, was to file a motion for sanctions, also re-urging our original request for documents and responses, and then if that doesn't work, have a show cause hearing. And Your Honor, I should mention too, before we go further, defendant's new counsel is here. I don't think this is an issue with Mr. Siegel. He's been very responsive to me. Simply my problem here today is that we're sitting here in almost December. We served our initial written discovery back in April, don't have one document, don't have any responses, and we're trying to prove up a case.
Mr. Siegel, what's going on?
Well, Judge, what they've told me is that they wanted to preserve their resources to try to settle this matter. And that was the reason that they haven't responded. I don't know. I'm pretty new to this client, don't know them very well. But that was the reasoning that I was given. That's all I can tell you. They just wanted to preserve. They didn't want to spend the money on answering discovery. They wanted to try to put it toward a settlement, which we're trying to do. However, there obviously there's no settlement that has been reached.
Have y'all been to mediation?
Not yet, Your Honor. And one of the things that we need certainly is either our discovery or a concrete offer from defendants in order to incentivize us to go mediate this thing.
What my thoughts are? What are the sanctions you're requesting exactly?
Yes, Your Honor. I think I got the order here, or proposed order. We're asking for about $3,800 in monetary fees. That represents the time it took me to do the original motion to compel this motion and appear here today. And then if the court's inclined to set it for a show cause hearing and then ask them to, produce their documents and responses.
Your Honor, I think if we go to mediation, we'll be able to hammer out a settlement. We made an offer. It wasn't good enough. And so they're trying to put together a settlement offer that will get this taken care of. I think we could probably do that in mediation.
What my thought is we do kind of a conditional sanctions, maybe order that the sanctions be paid in the next 3 weeks and the documents be produced in the next 3 weeks. And maybe could you guys go to mediation next week, something like that?
Oh, we can certainly try.
I don't know, to be honest, Your Honor. I don't know what my client's schedule would be. That would be the hang up on that, on being able to mediate it next week. And then also getting I'm not sure what the schedule of our agreed mediator looks like either, Your Honor.
I can call Burden Mediations. They almost always have somebody available. So let me see if we can get...
I'm called for trial in the 101st on the 7th on a 2-week docket. And I can't get in touch with the court coordinator to tell me where we are in the docket. So I may very well be in trial, but we can maybe do it the next week. I hope I don't go to trial, but if I do, I will be unavailable. It's on a separate matter.
I mean, that's a good reason to get out of the mediation. So,
well, it is, but I want the mediation. So, that's an effort to get the mediation done, actually.
Created by the coronavirus pandemic, our office is working remotely for the foreseeable future. We'd like to reach Karen James, press
All right, so I have them on speaker. Is this a medical malpractice case or what is this exactly?
Breach of contract and among other things, Your Honor.
Hello, you have reached the voicemail box for Karen James at extension 118. I am currently on the main.
Is there anyone you like over at Gilbert or would you prefer Burden?
Oh,
as far
I
as-
like, but I'm not going to be picky. I'm not going to be picky.
As far as
Okay.
plaintiffs are concerned, Your Honor, I mean, Gilbert and Burden works for us.
You see if I can't get someone at Gilbert. I can't get anyone at Burden.
And while you're doing that, Your Honor, I think our agreed one was John Shipp. I'm looking at his online availability right now too.
Okay, do you want to check him first?
Yeah, or yes, sir. Looks like he's out through the rest of the year, Your Honor. But he's got availability in January.
It's up to you, Mr. Maxey. I don't mind if you wait to use him. My only point is that I want the sanctions and the discovery to be answered after the mediation occurs. So if you're willing to wait, I'm okay with that. If you want to go with somebody, usually Burden can fit people in pretty quick. I imagine Gilbert is the same way. So what is your preference, Mr. Maxey?
I think I would prefer, Your Honor, because I don't know the schedule of my client at the moment, to wait and go with Mr. Shipp in January.
Okay.
And that will give me enough time to work with her to make sure we can get her fit in. And then we'll go from there.
Okay. Why don't we do this? Go ahead and prepare an order. Once you talk to Mr. Shipp and Mr. Siegel, that'll also deal with Mr. Siegel's trial issue. And the sanctions and the sanctions will be due 2 weeks after the mediation occurs, and the discovery will be due 2 weeks after the mediation. So go ahead and prepare an order as to that effect, and make sure at the beginning of the order, instead of on this day, like most people do, say that on November 29th, 2021, the following was heard, and make sure you share it with Mr. Siegel before you submit it. Email it to my court coordinator as well as e-filing.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I had, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just get me the order as soon as you can. And Tony, I think our next hearing is at 2:30, I believe. Let me double check because it does change.
Are we dismissed, Your Honor?
You are dismissed.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye, guys. So Tony, the next hearing is at 2:30, but we have a very busy afternoon at that point. So you might want to